Yeah. Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Loaded.
Yeah. What? Yeah. 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 What? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Joshua Cook Bite Media, now joined by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Terry Pirtle of Second Baptist School Football, the 4-1 Eagles coming off a big win against Port Lavaca Calhoun last week. Coach, just talk about this season. You know, I know you lose the season opener, a close one to Kincaid. You've won 4 straight since then. Just talk about this streak you've had kind of going into your bye week and how it feels going into the bye week with 4 straight wins.
It feels pretty good. You know, when we set our schedule up, we knew that we would have a top-end game at the front of, you know, pre-district, and then we would have a top-end game at the back of pre-district. So, and in between some competitive opponents as well. So we felt good about the pre-district schedule, knowing that it was going to be competitive for our kids, and the kids would have an opportunity to gel and to, you know, try to, you know, overcome some adversity along the way and get better as we go through that schedule. And I think the kids did an excellent job. We had a tough loss against Kincaid. We had some opportunities to win that game and be really competitive. And we just didn't come out on top in that game. But the good part of that was I like the way they responded the next, you know, 4 games with a very, you know, good, you know, showing in all 4 of the games, and the kids did a very nice job of responding and rebounding from that loss against Kincaid.
What's the biggest thing you've seen this team improve on in these 5 games? Because you're at midway point of the regular season. You've gotten a 5-game sample now. From game 1 to game 5, what's the biggest improvement?
You know, going into the season, we knew that to get to where we ultimately would like to go, there was 2 areas that we needed to work on that as a program. One of them was the kicking game aspect. And since, you know, we were able to hire Tony Levine as our kicking, you know, coordinator here. He's our special teams guy. You know, we just decided to go out and get the best one in the nation. So we got Tony. So he just happened to fall in our lap, which was a great thing for our program. And they've continually gotten better every week. Every part of our kicking game has improved, which has kept us, you know, field position wise in a very good spot in every game. We just did not take advantage of field position in the Kincaid game offensively. But and then the other one was just how are we going to get better as a teammate, and putting our kids in an adverse situation every game, I felt like gave our kids an opportunity to grow. And I think that in that area, our team is getting much better. Our kids are really bought into what we're doing, but they're more importantly bought in to doing things for other people, not just themselves. And we've learned that through our pre-district schedule that it's not about the wins, but it's about us becoming better teammates, better people, better fathers, better employers. Hopefully, as our kids get down the road and own their own businesses, how to really cooperatively, serve other people. And that's the big thing for us this year, is to get better in kicking game and to get better as individuals as far as being servants to each other.
You mentioned bringing Tony Levine on staff, and we've talked to you before about your staff and just the pieces. I mean, you've got Corey Warren, the former Oklahoma star, that is on your staff. You got Cecil Shorts, the former Texans wide receiver. Now Tony Levine. For people that don't follow football, Tony Levine, the former head coach of the Houston Cougars and a long tenured college football coach. What's it like bringing in another guy like that with so wealth of a knowledge in college football and to bring him into your staff?
For our guys, for our staff, it's just an opportunity for those guys to learn what professionalism and excellence in coaching looks like. And we all need that. We're all growing from Tony's availability here during this time, myself included. And I think that he is bringing just a professionalism to how we teach, how we coach, how we relate to kids. It's giving a breath of air to us as far as our coaching staff. Bringing in someone like that, we're all learning from his expertise in the kicking game, and just being the way he deals with kids and coaches, and how he speaks to the kids, and how he's very, very humble. And he is not one to step on toes, but he does have good, valued opinions about things. We call him Captain Obvious for me, like, hey, what am I missing? And he's like, well, here it is. Go back to that play that you ran for a touchdown, or throw it to this kid because you're not throwing to this kid. He sees the things that are very obvious. And we have gained knowledge from him in that area for sure.
Yeah, it's always fun every year to evaluate your staff and see all these little nuggets of information these guys bring. And, I think at one point it's always, I think one person told me that, the head coach always gets the quotes and the stories and the headlines in the newspaper, but it's the staff around him that really helps. And you've evolved a very good staff. Talk about that and just the staff you've put around yourself, not only this year, but just your entire coaching career.
Yeah, it's been really good here. We have some guys that have been with me from the start here, like Brad Lane, our offensive line coach, tremendous offensive line coach. He's our dean of students in the high school, and he has a great connection and former Bible teacher, and he's just deeply invested in the Christian walk that we have here at Second Baptist, and the kids love him. Denver McAllister is our running back coach, and he has done a tremendous job with our running backs. Cecil Shorts obviously helps in our passing game with our receivers. It's just wonderful. Tony helps with our H's, our tight ends, and our tight end play has been tremendous this year. Keith Page, this is his fifth year to be on our staff, fourth year to be defensive coordinator. And our defense, like I always say this, and we realize this, not a lot of people play really good defense, and we play really good defense. I think that's one thing that we do well. Like giving up only 19 points to Calhoun says something for our defensive staff. And they're a hard defense. They're hard to defense based on what they do. You don't see it all the time. But Stephen Burris, our defensive line coach, has had many guys that he coached that went on and are still playing in the NFL now. And he's got great experience on the D-line. Milton Holmes and Corey Warren both played college football, and they're in our back end. So we are very blessed to have guys with experience and knowledge and just the love of Christ and wanting to do whatever they can to make our kids better as football players and men.
You talk about these kids, and two of the guys that, we talk about a lot, and for good reason, Eli Smith and Everett Skiller, and the little thunder and lightning coming out of your backfield and on the defensive side of the ball. Talk about those two guys and how they've played through these first 5 games.
Yeah, they've been great. They've been very unselfish. They've been, they've played hard every game. Eli, I'm looking at his stats. He's run for about 150 every game and leads the team in touchdowns, obviously. averaging 6.5 yards a carry, got 9 touchdowns, and he's had the opportunity to carry the ball the most so far. Everett is the leader of our defense. Obviously, he's playing safety back there, and he is just coming downhill and just, doing a wonderful job of tackling. He's a real Iron Man. Everett snaps, holds, snaps our football for our punt team. He holds on extra points. The one thing that I have not done a very good job as is every time he runs in the game on offense, he's getting the football. I mean, how people don't figure that out, it's amazing. But I think Calhoun realized that, and we still scored throwing the ball to him last game. They took a timeout and physically told their team they're fixing to throw the ball to number 1. And we threw the ball to number 1 and scored a touchdown. So I do know that teams realize that tendency, but Everett is, a tremendous football player. Both him and Eli for us, have been leaders for 4 years, and we're going to miss those guys, but we're definitely going to use them for the next few games.
Hopefully all the way to the state championship game, and y'all are lifting a trophy at the end of the season for those seniors. We talk about those 2 guys, but I know it takes more than 2 guys to win a football game. Talk about other guys who have stepped up and through these 5 games for your offense and your defense.
Defensively, Austin Courtney has done a nice job. Austin's been a guy that started since his sophomore year and played both ways for us. And defensively, he is doing a great job now. We go from a 4-3 defense to a 3-man front, and he bounces from outside linebacker to a DN spot. And he's had a tremendous year. Kyle Cole-Morgan at middle linebacker has done a tremendous job for us. Had a big game against Calhoun, a couple of big stops. We have a new young man, J.D. Crisp, who is a sophomore who is, I think, 2nd in our team now in receptions, and he got to play a little bit of defense last game. We plugged him in. He did a very nice job playing safety on defense. Hudson Toon has been banged up a little bit, and we can't wait to get Hudson back. He's one of the best safeties, in Houston as well when he gets back. Honestly, our offensive line has been a nice surprise. We lost 3 very good offensive linemen last year, and the guys that we plugged in have done a tremendous job. John Deering is playing both ways, playing left tackle and defensive end, and he is doing a very good job. He had a nice game defensively for us against Calhoun last game also. Grayson Kim, man, he is last game he set the record for us. He has started 40 games for us, and that is a school record. And Grayson at our slot receiver, and is also playing a little bit of defense when he needs him. Just steady as he can be. Our leading receiver, going to have an opportunity to play in the Ivy League somewhere next year. But Grayson Kim, tremendous player, and like I say, has just set the record for playing in the most games of anybody in the history of Second Baptist football. And he still has several games left to go. So good accomplishment for Grayson. So.
Yeah, that shows a real tribute to him and his skill set Iron Man. We think about Iron Man, and I think always Cal Ripken Jr., the 2,300 games he played in Major League Baseball, which will never be touched. And Grayson's record might take a while for someone to touch that one at Second Baptist School. For you, as you go into a bye week, how do you approach a bye week? Especially you've won 4 straight games, you go into district play next week. How do you approach this week?
We just get healthy. We we're going to practice 3 days and take a day off and make sure that we're ready to go, getting ready for St. Joseph next week, starting district next week. So we're just doing basic stuff this week, getting healthy, having shorter practices, watching some video, and, really getting prepared for hopefully what will be a good 5 games and a playoff run, knowing that our kids are going to have to work Saturdays. They'll get a Saturday off this week and go into the next few weeks knowing that it's a 6-day work week. So that's it. Just making sure we're getting healthy. There's a couple of kids that need a little bit of rest this week. Comes at a good time for us, and as we get ready into getting in that district schedule.
The success that your program has had year after year, I think 2 straight years of state semifinals, I might be off by 1, but you made these deep runs. at this time of the year when it gets to district, I know last year, in the pregame speech, you said we take care of our porch, the district's our porch. Is there a switch that flips? Do these guys just know naturally, just because of the culture of your program, that once it gets to this part of the year, once it gets to October, like that switch flips for it's now these games really count for district championships and playoff runs?
I think our kids have a certain amount of pride of just knowing that they're going to win in October and November. Like, we want to win every game in October and November. And, having been to the state semifinals 3 years in a row, it's, for us, a real challenge to try to get back there. It's hard to do that. People don't realize that. There's a certain desire that you have to have as a program to do that every year, and it's not easy. And anything can happen. So we relish the fact that we don't take that for granted. That we understand that there's a certain amount of the senior class does not want to be the class that loses a district football game. And every year we put that on our seniors to lead in a certain way in order to uphold that. And it's going to be a challenge this year. Our district's tougher. We've got Fort Bend is a good football team. Lutheran South is playing good football right now. The Woodlands Christian, they have some really good players. And we want teams in our district to be competitive. We want competitive football games in our district, and I'm happy that those teams are getting really competitive, and we want our district to be the toughest district in the state, so that when we get in the playoffs, our district will do well.
And you mentioned those teams. The VIPE private school rankings came out yesterday. Second Baptist School back to number 1, which I know coaches like seeing that on Twitter. Number 1, and Woodlands Christian number 2, Fort Bend Christian number 3. But that talks about the strength of your district. We see the district. We know the strength. 3 of the teams in the top 10 right now in VIPE's rankings.
Yeah, we put no credibility in that. I don't look at it.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about how our kids are treating each other, and if they're improving every day, and how we act on a daily basis. And we play for the next Friday. It's old coach talk, but we're just looking forward to playing St. Joe's next Friday and being good in that game. And then the result is every Friday night is our report card, and that's the one thing that we really concentrate on.
Exactly. Now we do that for our social media fun, and we know coaches. It's all fun. So, but your team has been playing really good football over the last few weeks. Coach, it's been a lot of fun to watch your team. We can't wait. Coming up October 15th, y'all's game against Woodlands Christian Academy will be the season opener of VIPE Countdown to Kickoff. We will be there to count down to kickoff for that one. We are excited to be on Second Baptist School campus. I need the students to get excited for that one too. They need to be riled up. We need some college game day-esque feeling for that game.
Gotcha. Well, I know we have a lot of events scheduled for that particular game, and I think it'll be a really good atmosphere. It's always a good atmosphere here. People are very excited about football around Second Baptist, and our culture is, Friday night is a big night for us around here. So we'll put on a good show for you. I'm assuming that all our kids will be there as normal.
We look forward to it. He is Coach Terry Pirtle. He's the head coach of Second Baptist School Eagles. Coach, we appreciate the time on this week's Coach's Corner.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on.